Welcome to the Fourth Down Experience, the podcast devoted to special teams. Your host of the Fourth Down Experience, former pro free agent, 9-year professional kicking coach out of the Midwest, Coach Chris Hughesby. Alongside Coach Chris Hughesby is a former 2-time Arena Bowl champ, 9-year pro kicking coach, repping the South, Coach Brian Jackson.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are starting a recruitment segment dating back to when we interviewed longtime special teams coach Travis Walch. We covered about 11 different topics throughout the whole interview, and we're breaking them up into listening segments. It came from episode 74 if you'd like to hear the whole thing, but we hope you enjoy these little 5-minute segments where we answer and discuss different topics in recruiting and college football. Enjoy. In your opinion, as a college coach that's recruiting athletes, what are maybe 4 or 5 things that you think are important for these kids to know and think about?
Well, I think in going through it, it's a massive process, and I do believe it has to start in some manner in 9th grade. And it's not something that I had to do 25 years ago. But if you're going to stay on top of it, I believe the family has to be very involved, and I believe the student really has to get going with things. And to me, it's a very broad question because we're really talking about everything from Division I full ride to Division I non-scholarship, 2, 3 NAIA down to junior college. And there is a vast amount of information and things that need to be considered to be most qualified for all of those schools, no matter your talent level. I mean, really, it does start with your academics. And from a GPA standpoint, from a core classes standpoint, from a ACT standpoint, SAT, whichever one you're taking based on what part of the country it is, I really think that's where it needs to start. Now, certainly there's going to be some schools that have different levels of acceptance rates and standards, but if you're saying I want to be most available to all of the schools out there, the first place to start is you got to have a transcript that's going to show up. And I think ultimately times, and I've talked to counselors about it, I know head coaches and counselors and parents are on these guys about saying, hey, stay up with it. It's something that you're going to want to be proud of when you're a junior and a senior, and it's going to help you out. And I know a lot of times we've dealt with guys throughout the years that, 9th grade wasn't so good, and 10th grade we got a little bit better, and they're really trying to dig out of a hole. And what it really does is it cuts your list down from, unless you're a 1%er or top 5%er in the country athletically, it just really starts cutting your list down as to what your possibilities are going to be. So staying on top of that, I think, has got to be number one. I think starting to think about where do you want to go to school? I'm not going to say I'm a major proponent of all these recruiting services. I think ultimately, I've talked to a lot of families throughout the years that say, yeah, we hired a recruiting service and our film's getting pumped all over the country. Great. What schools are you talking to? Where are you going to apply? Well, we're really kind of thinking, locally. Well, then why did you pump your recruiting film all over the country and pay whichever amount of dollars? I don't know what to do that. If your goal in the end is to stay, within 100 miles, 200-300 miles of school. If you are a good player and a good student athlete, those schools are going to go out and find you. So knowing what it is you're looking for and does it exist within your 250, 300-mile radius should be able to help you understand, do I need more help than just my parents and my coaches? Where I think a recruiting service can come in really, really good is, let's say you are a tweener scholarship kid, top-of-the-line scholarship kid, or mid-major type kid. Then getting that film out everywhere, if you're really committed to saying, I'm going to go anywhere that gives me a full ride or 70%. We don't care, really don't care where it is in the country. I think it could be a decent investment at that time, but I do believe it's a fairly small pool. And then as you get a little bit finer, finding a school that is going to academically be your fit. And One of the things I've been doing more research on is parents and students understanding the difference in the way that schools accept students and what they're looking for, and throwing in the financial piece as well, and saying, as a family, you better understand what your EFC is and your estimated family contribution. That, and then also knowing what is the school looking for. Are they a need-based school? Or are they a need-aware school? And starting to understand how you need to fill out an application to be able to get the most dollars available. And there's going to be some schools that if you put down that you have need, you're probably, if all things are equal academically with another student, and he does not have need, he's probably going to get into school, or she's probably going to get into school. So there's a lot of waters to navigate, but those are the things that stick out. I kind of at the top of my list in terms of the prep for getting ready to be able to get to your school of choice, ultimately, hopefully, in a financial situation where you can handle it as well, and that it fits your major.
Yeah, I mean, it's all super valuable information, and I really hope a lot of parents and players listen to that. A great insight.
Thank you for listening to the Fourth Down Experience. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fourth Down Experience.